This lesson is intended for grade 11 learners. It is designed to discuss the functions, nature, and process of oral communication. This is for you to have a background of the lesson as you journey in understanding and finishing the course. Hello, dear students! Welcome to our oral communication class. I am Teacher Aris at your humble service, and you are watching DepEd MP TV. Today, we will learn about the nature, functions, and process of oral communication. Be ready with your pen and paper for writing some important details and your learning activity sheet. After this lesson, you are expected to explain the functions, nature, and process of oral communication. Communication comes from the Latin word communicare, which means to share or to have something in common. It provides central meaning to human experience. Communication, according to Keith Davis, is a process of passing information and understanding from one person to another. John Aguirre defined it as essentially the ability of one person to make contact with another and make himself understood. Communication is the transmission of ideas and emotions between or among persons with the use of verbal and non-verbal cues. It occurs everywhere. It takes place at home, in school, in modes of transport, in streets, in stores, in contact halls, in malls, in churches. With the latest telecommunication advances, communication between two distant people in remote areas is possible. In fact, we use our mouth in speaking more than we do eating. While we eat 3 times, the breakfast, lunch, and supper, or more every day, we spend most of our waking hours talking. This happens because it's imperative on our part to let other people know what we have in mind or what our heart says. Simply put, as social beings, we cannot keep to ourselves our thoughts and our feelings. Take the courage in doing the activities to guide you as you journey with this course. For the nature of oral communication is a process that involves a message, a sender, a receiver, and a channel. Oral communication is symbolic, which could be enhanced through the use of non-verbal cues involving facial expressions, gestures, body language, volume, tone, and pitch of the speaker's voice. Oral communication is verbal communication that uses words to share information with others. Oral communication employs readily understood spoken words. It mainly uses words to express oneself. Oral communication could be one-way or maybe two-way process. Oral communication involves the flow of information from the sender to the receiver. Oral communication ensures appropriate enunciation, stress, and tone of voice for common understanding to take place. Verbal communication includes sounds, words, language, and speech. Oral communication is important because the goal of learning a language is to communicate in order to be understood. Without understanding, there is no communication. Oral communication skills are fundamental to the development of literacy. Literacy is the ability to read and write. Oral communication is essential for thinking and learning. Oral communication is the glue that puts all the components of a language together. Oral communication plays an important role in the development of the country. Oral communication reduces the distance and makes the flow of information faster. Oral communication enables one to be a voice or instrument of truth and a light of the world. There are 5 functions of communication. These are control, social interaction, motivation, emotional expression, and information dissemination. For control, communication functions to control or regulate behavior. For the social interaction, communication allows individuals to relate with others. Under motivation, communication motivates or encourages people to live better. For emotional expressions, communication facilitates people's expression of their feelings and emotions. Under information dissemination, communication functions to convey information. Communication refers to the transmission or passage of information or message from the sender through a selected channel to the receiver, overcoming barriers that affects its space. The process of communication is a cyclic one as it begins with the sender and ends with the sender in the form of feedback. Communication is a process, and as such, it comes in stages. It starts with encoding and ends with the decoding. The encoder is more popularly known as the sender of the message. He transmits his message to the receiver, a more popular term for the decoder of the message. The recipient tries to understand the message, and if she does, communication takes place. The receiver may then give her feedback. If there is a continuous exchange between the sender and the receiver, particularly in an oral discourse, communication takes the form of a cycle, as shown in the diagram. To gauge your understanding about our lesson today, take time in doing the tasks in your learning activity sheets. Thank you so much for listening attentively to our discussion today. I hope that you learn a lot. See you next lesson and enjoy the rest of the day. Always practice good personal hygiene at all times. Goodbye!